Okay, so from the last video, we got our server working, our database connection working, and now it's time to actually put information into the database. So I'm looking here at the PHP MySQL insert data page because it's got a really good example for how to do these things. Firstly, I'm going to copy this variable, db name. I'll put it here. And this value here for me is going to be zoo. For you, it will be whatever you named this here, your database. Okay? And then I'm going to have a look at this line here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to replace. We're going to copy pasta that over here. Okay? And the only difference is it has the DB name at the end, which is what we just set here. So it's saying connect to the server with this username and password and connect into this database, okay? And now, same if statement as before, okay? I'm going to just add a break at the end of this. We'll see why in a minute. I'm going to skip over this for just a sec. Because I want to go through it with you. And let's just copy pasta this section here. Now this is the bit that's actually doing the heavy lifting. And by that I mean this is checking, right, if the query that we're about to do has worked. So this here is the thing that's actually doing the insertion. But you can see it's using this SQL variable inside of it. And so what's that SQL variable going to be? Well, firstly, what's SQL? You might have been asking yourself that question. Well, MySQL, which is what we're using, is an implementation of SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's the language that we use to talk to and manipulate and work with databases. It's probably, like, if you could count it as a programming language, it's probably my favorite. I find it really simple to work with. I find it quite intuitive. It can get a bit tricky at times, but it reads pretty like English compared to a lot of languages. So I'm going to start with a string. That's these two quote marks here. And I want to insert into my database. Okay, now insert into the table, and the table name is animals. How do I know it's animals? Well, that's what my animals table is. Okay, and I'm going to delete that. Spoiler, I've done this before. And going to the structure tab can be really helpful because it will tell you what values you have. Okay, so I've got the reference here for what we're doing, and this is basically what is in this page here. Okay, that's this here. So I'm going to insert into the animals table for values for the name. I'm going to have values for the name, the species, birth date. Ooh, that's not it. Birth date and fur color. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on a new line just so that we can be. We want that to be in capitals, just so we can keep track of things. So the name is going to be in single quotes. So that's not pressing shift and pressing the button you usually use for double quotes. It's right next to enter. It's going to be Mufasa. Okay. His species is a lion. Birth date. I don't know what his birth date is, but I'm going to assume that it is the 1st of May, 2000. We have to write it backwards like this. My only logical explanation for why we have to do this is Americans. If you'd like me to elaborate more, I'm happy to do so. Fur color. I think it was brown. My memory of the Lion King, at least the animated version, is not great. So, what have I done? Well, and this is the great thing about SQL. We write the things that are doing things in capitals, all caps, and generally lower or first capitalized is our tables or our properties, columns, I think is what's called in thing. And obviously we've got our input values. So we're saying we're going to insert into the animals table these, and for these properties, we're going to use these values. So Mufasa here, Mufasa here, that was not it. Mufasa here, that's the name. Species, lion. Birth date, this here. And fur color, will be brown. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go over here. And would you look at that? New record successfully created. And so now, if I go back to my SQL, my PHP MyAdmin, and I go browse, would you look at that? Amazing. Great success. The sky's the limit at this point. So I'll leave it to you to put together all of your insert statements and come see me if you need a hand.